Hi, this is John with Flat 6 Motorsports, and we're here at Öhlins USA with the 992 Carrera T. We've installed their road and track coilover kit. We have it on their shaker rig. We're going to do some test and validation, give you a little bit behind the scenes access to what Öhlins does to develop suspension for the 992. So we brought the 992 Carrera here to Öhlins test facility and put it on their shaker rig. The shaker rig is a really interesting tool. They can simulate all kinds of different road forces to dial in the suspension. So this is where they do a lot of development, the research and development, finding, tuning things for motorsports applications, but also helps us validate the system. So we're gonna walk through a little bit of that data, get the thing set up. We'll take it out on some of these beautiful back roads here in North Carolina through the mountains, give you some driving impressions, and then we're gonna go to Road Atlanta with the car to validate it on the track. So let's get into it.
Hey, my name is Brian Fowler. I'm the product manager here at Öhlins USA. Flat 6 Motorsports has come to visit us today and hang out with us at the track this weekend with their 992. And we are wanting to take a moment and show our product line for Porsche applications and the different technologies that exist throughout the product range. Mostly we want to focus on road and track and what differentiates that product from our competitors' products and the type of performance that you can expect. So before we get into that, really got to talk about the background of Öhlins and our motorsport product. We're best known for our TTX technologies that popular motorsports teams use. We've got this four-way adjustable TTX 40 shock that's tuned for a 997 Cup car. We've got our TTX 46 motorsport strut that's utilized on many motorsport applications, but now available in kit form for popular Porsche applications. But the product that we have on the 992T that we're testing at Road Atlanta tomorrow is this Öhlins road and track system here that we're well known for now in the street tuning market, and customers who also go to the track maybe once or twice a month. So this is a fully adjustable coilover suspension, has a single adjustable bleed adjuster at the bottom with 20 clicks of adjustment. It is a monotube inverted strut. The shock absorbers are an all aluminum body shock absorber. They're designed to reuse the OE top mounts, or you can upgrade to a spherical top mount. And they are tuned by Öhlins USA on our shaker rig here that we have the Carrera on. Our track development time with our race drivers and engineers to be a daily drivable package in the softer clicker settings, and also a very capable track suspension in the stiffer clicker settings. So if you've got a car like the Carrera T here, where maybe you're running a Michelin 4S tire, in the week to work, you can drop it down to the softer clicker settings, and you'd be surprised the great ride quality that you have with a package like this. Go to the track, switch to your Cup 2Rs or Cup 2 tires, stiffen up the dampers, and hit the track, and you'll be really impressed with the amount of performance that this kit delivers. So these systems are designed to bolt onto an otherwise stock car. Shops like Flat 6 Motorsports, or our specialist dealers, have the experience and the knowledge to do the installation professionally, which we recommend because these have a separate spring preload adjustment from ride height adjustability. So a lot of coilovers in the market only have spring preload adjustability to change the ride height of the car. Our kits have that feature, so you can fine tune where your bump and droop travel is set. So spring preload essentially determines that. How much of the total travel is distributed for bump travel, so how far the wheel and tire go into the fender, and then droop travel, how much of the suspension falls from static ride height, let's say going around a corner or falls into a pothole and so forth. So once you have your preload set based on the spring rate in this application, then you can make separate height adjustability changes with this lower height adjuster and lengthening and shortening the McPherson strut, like this is on the Cayman rear, or a shock absorber that's on the back of a 911, or also the strut on the front of a Porsche 911. So that length can be adjusted. So if you want to lower your car but still keep all the bump travel, then you can do that. You can actually shorten the shock there. Other features is our dual flow valve technology that's unique and patented for the shock absorber. Sometimes customers look at this kit and think, man, the spring rates look a little firm. I bet that kit's going to ride really stiff on the street. You'd be surprised how compliant this system is. And a lot of it has to do with the tuning that we choose, but also the dual flow valve allows us as another tuning tool to fine-tune the characteristics on rough, irregular surfaces that you would typically get a lot of rough and harshness back through the seat and steering wheel. So the dual flow valve is a fantastic tuning tool in conjunction with the main shim stack of getting a great ride quality on the street and still have the support from strong damping, stiffer springs than what you would expect for a street car to get that performance on the track. So this is a really good example of what our kind of claim to fame with what makes Road and Track system so great for the type of customer that is a common customer found at Flat Six Motorsports, a common Öhlins customer, a guy or girl who's daily driving the car. Maybe it's their weekend toy that they put 4,000 to 5,000 miles a year on the street, but they're also going to the track once a month and pushing the car at the limit and wanting more performance than the factory suspension. Now that we've discussed the Road and Track systems and our motorsport product, let's move over to Melvin the Shaker Rig, and he can discuss our Shaker Rig tool and how it improves performance of our suspension kits.
Hey there, my name is Melvin Chacon. I'm an engineer here at Öhlins USA, and today we have Flat Six Motorsports with us with their 992, and we're just kind of walking them through the process of how we normally go through developing and optimizing a kit here, specifically within our Road and Track product line for their specific application, which in this case is more of a road going but track centric vehicle. So we're just kind of over here using the 7-post shaker rig that we have on site in order to kind of apply a few inputs into the vehicle and kind of determine how the vehicle as a system with the dampers, the springs, all the bushings and everything kind of reacts to those inputs to try to determine what would be like their most like ideal setting for track specific application, in this case as they're ready to go to Road Atlanta to test the 992 platform. As far as what we're doing with the shake rig itself is pretty much a big hydraulic machine that we have complete control of. We generally run either like a generic test platform for smaller teams or kind of road going vehicles, or we can get into a more advanced and involved procedure where we actually attach downforce actuators to the vehicle to kind of pull down on the vehicle to simulate downforce and any type of other kind of low speed driver input or road input like pitch, roll, heave, that kind of thing, to kind of replicate more real world type experiences on the chassis. And in this case, we decided just to go with a 4-post test, which is essentially just 4 platforms, one underneath each wheel that provide inputs into the chassis, and then we instrument the car itself with accelerometers, 4 at each corner of the chassis body, and then 4 at the wheels or uprights, so we can have an idea of kind of how the car moves relative to the input that's being applied to it. In this case, we ended up kind of focusing in on our generic testing platform, which is composed of 3 peak velocity sine waves, 1 at 2 inches per second, 4 inches per second, and 6 inches per second. This gives us a really good idea how the balance of the car developing depending on the clicker settings we have or the valving that's in the dampers at the time. In this case, we're working with an out-of-the-box Road and Track kit that they purchased, and we're just trying to find like what I would feel would be a good balance for this particular type of car. Now that you know a little bit about the process, what we did today, and about us at Ohlins, we're gonna go over to John, who's going to take the car out for the first time after we've kind of worked on it, to kind of give us a little bit of feedback, some initial impressions, and kind of kind of see if he feels the difference between how they kind of had the car set up versus how it is now, and see if that works for him, or if we need to make some final small changes to kind of dial it in for his particular driving style and characteristics he's looking for. So.
Well, right off the bat, I can tell you that the car feels much more gripped up, much more stable. Definitely in the transitional areas and just imperfections in the road overall. You can gain a lot more confidence in what the suspension is doing, feel a lot more in control. So the car is currently set up with the recommended specs by Öhlins. We got that data through their shake rig, which was a really cool opportunity to really dial in where the optimal grip levels are for this particular setup. A lot of race teams do that to get data for a baseline and a roadmap for to go track to track. Very valuable data. We were really lucky to had that opportunity with the Carrera T to just really learn where the ideal setup is. We'll have it out at Road Atlanta tomorrow to do some more testing with it on track at the limits, but on these back roads immediately you can feel just a lot of confidence, a lot of control. The turn-in is a lot sharper. You feel a lot more responsiveness of the suspension. It just feels like you have more control of the car on the road. And just even riding in here, we got a little traffic in front of us, just normal conditions, it's very pleasant. It's not really sprung like the OEM suspension, so in some ways I feel that it's a little bit more comfortable. I would say it's slightly softer, less dampened than the OEM setup, but there's a lot more precision and control of the compression stroke. So it's a really good overall setup. Stable, very good transitions as well. Like I said, there's a lot of nice little switchbacks here, modulating speed. The car just responds very well overall. So I couldn't be happier with this car, the way it's set up, particularly for the street. And like I said, we're gonna go to Road Atlanta here with the car, test it at its limit. I'm really anxious to see that. You can kind of get maybe 8/10 here on this road, I don't know. But at the track, it'll be really great to exploit those, the suspension at the margins where there's, some quicker, higher speed strokes in the suspension. And just, dynamically the car really trying to get good lap times is going to have more transitional, inertia under heavy braking, accelerating, the absolute grip level of the tires. So I'm really excited to get on track with it. So let's go do that. All right, so we're here at Road Atlanta, which is a fantastic track in general, but also to test suspension because there's so many dynamic forces throughout the course with all the elevation change. So you get a really good feel for how the suspension is working. We'll give it a couple hot laps right here. As we're kind of warming the tires just a little bit here, right away, I mean, it's just the composure of the car. It's pretty phenomenal. Settings are really good where we have the car sitting. You know exactly what the car is doing. It communicates really well, loads up very well. A lot of stability too. Grip level is very nice too. over the bumps and the curbs, it just absorbs them. Feel the limited slip working. Wow, this is a really nice package. I mean, for a non-motorsports oriented suspension, this Road and Track definitely does the track stuff pretty well. Let's get by a little bit of traffic. Let's start opening this one up, man. Just overall very impressed by this package. Right behind a 991.2 GT3 RS. Hold this up a little. There's a Corvette in front of him. Hold this up a little bit. Wow. Just amazing control and stability. It inspires so much confidence. You know exactly what the car is doing. All right, let's go. Very stable in the braking. This system, the way this is set up is, wow. I mean, seconds off lap times for sure. So much confidence, so much communication. This is the real deal right here. This is good stuff. And this is the perfect track to test this. So, overall, back roads, street, track, this thing does everything. Obviously, you have the adjustment level to set the car where you want it. And it is just such a responsive system. For the price point, it is pretty remarkable. The quality you get. I would highly, highly recommend this system to anybody, any enthusiast, you know, for street or track or both, right? And that's the beauty of it. This car is just nice. Nice and dialed in. So if you're interested in 992 performance, definitely check us out at flat6.com. We have a host of solutions for road and track. But man, this has been fun. Really thank the guys from Öhlins USA. They did a tremendous job and invited us in to do this. And like I said, I could not be more happier with the setup. I had a previous system before. This is far superior.